Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Liverpool Latest. I'm your host, Matt, and I have a very interesting episode for you just minutes before the match against Man City. Here's my implications right now as far as the standings or the table go. Yesterday saw a very intense matchup with Sunderland and Arsenal. They both drew 2-2, meaning Arsenal dropped points, standing now at 26, still in first place. Sunderland has now moved up to fourth place with 19 points. So, thank you very much. That win alone has made today's game very, very important. But another game that has taken place that has also caused some hardships as far as where we stand on the table was Chelsea and Wolves. Now, to the shock of nobody, Wolves lost 3-0 against Chelsea. And Chelsea has now moved to second place with 20 points, and Wolves are basically facing relegation and will probably face relegation at this point with 2 points at the very, very bottom of the table. Where Liverpool stand right now is interesting. Just a couple of days ago, we stood at 3. Now we stand at 6 with 18 points. We need to win today against Man City at their home stadium, as they currently stand just 1 point above us. So a win or loss today is the difference maker between what seems to be, if I remember correctly, second place or sixth place or worse, as it stands right now. So this is a must-win game for us. Thankfully, the Sunderland game helped us a little bit when it comes to catching up to Arsenal. How Arsenal got in the position they did for that tie is beyond me. I was unable to watch the game. But with all the positive momentum that we have been having, it makes sense that we have an opportunity to draw or go more than that in terms of a win, getting 3 points, bringing us up to 21 and second place on the table. So that begs the question, what does my starting 11 look like? Obviously, Mamardashvili is going to be in net, given that he is our best chance with Alisson being out. But let's also now go back to the starting back of the bunch, the defensive players. I'm going with a 4-3-3, by the way, just so everybody understands. So my 4 is obviously going to be Andy Robertson, Konate, Van Dijk, and Bradley. I think Bradley needs to be rewarded with a start in this game, given his recent performances. I think this is going to be a very important game from a defensive standpoint. If we are not solid, we may fall apart. I know recent performances prior to this little bit of momentum we were on were rough, but I think the boys are now gelling in a way on defense that's going to help us. Speaking of Andy Robertson, I do have some news about him in a couple of minutes. Where does the midfield fall? The midfield, I should say. Gravenberch has to be an obvious choice to start, in my honest opinion. Same thing with Szoboszlai. I think if you don't start him, you're insane. He's easily one of our best playmakers. I also have a little bit of positive news, potentially, about him coming up in a few minutes as well. So Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and Wirtz all get the start for me today. I think it's very important that Wirtz gets this start because he has earned it given recent performances. And I don't see anyone else really starting. I mean, Maka could start too, but I don't want to tire him out. I know he's been back up to form, so him and Wirtz can kind of interchange. Whether or not who subs on and who goes off is kind of yet to be known, given that I'm making this video a little prior to today's game. But whatever the starting 11 will be, I'm sure at least 2 of those names are going to be in midfield. And last but certainly not least, and probably where I have the hardest time picking the starting 11, is going to be the strikers, the front 3. Salah is pretty much an easy choice for me. He has to be in there. He's been coming back to form recently, and I think it's safe to say he is the one that will be running down the wing. Gakpo is going to be our next guy in that list, and I know Gakpo has had a questionable season at times. People often wonder why he's in the games as long as he is, and what he has on slot that is causing this to happen. But if you ask me, he's our best bet right now. But this is where I have a problem picking. Obviously, Isak will have to sub on. He's not fully fit, but he's not fit enough to start, but he will be fit enough to sub on based on information I have seen throughout the course of the week. I don't really know if Chiesa can start this match. I love Chiesa, don't get me wrong, and I want him to have more opportunity, but I think this game is too big to have someone who doesn't play a whole lot get that chance. And I know it sounds horrible for me to say as a paisan, a fellow Italian, but I am going to have Chiesa on the bench starting off for this one. Editike has to be my next starter because it just makes the most sense. I think he is probably one of our best pressers when it comes to offense and when creating chances. So he's got to be the guy. So once again, I will reiterate to you, Robertson, Konate, Van Dijk, and Connor Bradley. I don't know why I blanked out there. Connor Bradley, all back four, mid four, Szoboszlai, and Wirtz and Gravenberch are in the middle, although Wirtz and McAllister could be interchangeable for me, personally speaking. And last but not least, Salah, Gakpo, and Editike are our strikers up in front, with Mamardashvili in net. So I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I don't know when, I don't know how soon the lineup's going to be called out. We'll see how accurate I am by the time this video and the lineup drops. So if I'm wrong, feel free to crucify me in the comments. That's all I have to say about that. I have some news for you guys in regards to Dominik Szoboszlai, because he may have potentially, quietly, signed a new deal. Now, I'm seeing a little bit of conflicting reports, hence why I'm calling this a rumor. On Twitter, a name of James Wathland, who is apparently a LFC reporter, he has said that Liverpool has reached an agreement in principle with Dominik Szoboszlai over a new long-term contract. The full details to be completed before it's signed, final details to be completed before it's signed and announced. The deal is expected to be worth around £200,000 per week. And who knows how big that contract's going to be. I am going to be finding that interesting. That said, I'm also seeing other news from Fabrizio Romano that contract talks are still in the works and that the club is trying to be fast in regards to these negotiations, and they're trying to lock him up as quickly as they possibly can. A couple quotes from Romano from his YouTube channel is that Liverpool are, again, working with both Ryan Gravenberch and Dominik Szoboszlai, something I have covered throughout the week. The talks are apparently progressing well with Szoboszlai, but according to him, have not yet entered the final stage, although the discussions have been positive. Liverpool are prepared to improve the already strong salary, given that, 200K is pretty strong, if you ask me, per week. And he's had a fantastic performance warranting it, if you ask me, and I think anybody with a brain will be able to tell you the same thing. There's a very good connection between the club and the players' camp, and Liverpool are trying to be fast once again on this one. And of course, we know Slot has said positive things about Szoboszlai. Twitter has been in a rage over the sense that they want him signed ASAP. I think that I am also in that camp. People are even going as far as to say that when it's all said and done for Verge and he leaves the club for whatever reason, they want to name Dominik Szoboszlai the new captain of Liverpool Football Club. And frankly, so far, I cannot disagree with that take whatsoever, given that we might be losing another key leader. Again, this is a rumor. I'm hearing this from, man, what was that? It was a Team Talk, I believe, that Andy Robertson apparently is in talks to leave the club and is entering a pre-contact agreement to join Celtic on a free transfer for the summer. So here's everything that I have seen in regards to this news. Okay, obviously he's our long-serving left back, Scotland captain. He is open to signing a pre-contract agreement in January of 2026, which could see him move when the deal expires in June of 2026. Which is my birthday month, believe it or not. So we might be losing Robo then. It's been presented that this move to Celtic is a homecoming because, well, Robertson has said that it is his lifelong boyhood club, and given that he lived on Glasgow's south side, spent 6 years, mind you, from 2003 to 2009 in Celtic's youth academy, and has been seen attending Celtic matches incognito. I can only imagine what types of get-ups and disguises Andy Robertson is wearing to these matches. And as he's also publicly praised the club's unbreakable spirit, it's safe to say, much like myself with Liverpool, despite being in the United States, Celtic is where Robertson's heart is at. And I have seen things earlier this week and reports that, there's in talks to bring him on for a new deal. I still don't know if I fully agree with those talks being taking place. But given the club's current youth movement and tactical change under Arne Slot, I think it makes the most sense for Robertson to leave the club at the end of the season on a free transfer. He's aging, for one, and two, I think, who are we as fans to deny a player what he wants to cap off his career? Who would not want to play for their boyhood club? Trent Alexander-Arnold. Sorry, there was something in my throat. Yeah, I think we can't deny Robertson this opportunity. I would hate to see him go because, again, he is a leader. He's a leader in the room and on the team in the dressing room. He's trying to guide people like Kirkes to take his position, and clearly Kirkes has not met the expectation to meet that yet. So I obviously would want to see him work on that a little bit more if there is validity to these reports to leave, but we'll just have to see what happens there. So a lot to take in today. Try to make this as brief as possible so that we can all enjoy the match as it starts. I appreciate you guys being here with me for Liverpool Latest. It means an absolute lot. Go Reds. I'm really hoping we can pull out the win today. And as always, I will see you guys on the next upload covering the game, win or lose. As always, you'll never walk alone.